Okay, thank you. Oh, before we do, okay, never mind. After. Hello, everyone. Tonight we're broadcasting from Go Force. Thank you all for coming. It's nice to see you here. Most of you from DTT, San Francisco. What are you doing here? I can't get away from you, huh? Okay. Let's see. Tonight, I decided to come to Go Forest today to take a look. This is towards the end of the first week of the summer tea here in Northern California. Because of space constraints, we're splitting San Jose and DTT. And so I thought I would come here and take a look at how things are going. And I was actually very impressed, to tell you the truth. People here have been working hard, especially the abbot here, the old abbot here. He really applies himself for a person like him who has many physical ailments and advance in ages. And for him to work this hard is such an inspiration for all of us, huh? Should we say thank you? Thank you. Thank you, Venerable Maxi. Okay? And also to my surprise, he's also said he's feeling better. He's been complaining about not feeling well the last 4 days. And I said, don't worry, he's going to get better and get better. And sure enough, he's looking better. So, yay. Yeah. I hope you live with us, stay with us for a long time. 5-10 years, huh? 5-10 good years. Yeah. And I remember when we were at Blue Mountain Temple, he said, can I have your permission to go back to Vietnam? I have a plot of land. I'll build a hut there. I will meditate the rest of my life. He said, don't you dare. Back then, his level is much lower than right now. So for your reference, when I say that I'm pleased, it's based on facts. I compare, for example, what we're doing here to my master's temples. I can tell you that the energy here is better. San Jose is better than all the temples I've been to from Master YongHua during the Chanchi. So that's because your level is pretty good, higher. And of course, it's still even better now than it was. So keep up the good work. I'm very, very, very proud of you. Also, another commentary, Soju Sunim, or we know her as Xian Miao. Miao because she has such a wonderful, melodious voice. Her Korean teachers came to visit her something like a couple of weeks ago from Korea. So they went on a trip and they stopped by LA and they visited a lot of temples, and the master is very sweet. She came to see Xian Miao. And so Xian Miao spent time with her, talked to her, offered her tea and so forth. And they took a photo in front of the front entrance of Wei Mountain Temple. That's the first time I saw her master. And then when the master left, she said, I'm very pleased that you look better. And of course, is Xian Miao online? No? What happened to my monitor here is dead.
Yes, Master. I'm here.
Can you make sure I have everything I need? It's unprofessional. Just because you are a left-home person or want to be a left-home person, You still have to be more professional than this. We have high standards, man. Yes, Way Mountain Temple. Never mind.
Master, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah?
Master, there is a question from the Vietnamese old gentleman. Would you like me to address it now or later?
Just a minute. Let me finish my point here. So, I took a look at the photo. So, Xian Miao, how long have your master been a nun?
Around over 15 years.
50 or 15?
15.
Okay. She has a big temple in Korea, right?
Yes, Master.
Lots of nuns under her?
My Korean teacher had only 2 disciples, including me, but my Korean teacher's teacher has a lot of disciples.
Okay. Well, anyway, you surpassed her, so. It's nice that she cares that to come to see you. Well, that's she have a very caring master. That's very nice. She's a second stage arhat. So this seems to be the case of the Korean Sunims. The nuns don't get trained at all in Korea, and to me it's a shame. I find women to be more talented than men in general in my temple. I don't know why. Hey, control yourself. Calm down, calm down. So anyway, so you see, it's people don't pay enough emphasis on the results. So that's why they talk a lot. For example, the Taiwanese now, all they do is they talk, study books, and get certificates for about completing a class or whatever, but no one meditates anymore. Only Master YongHua is the only monk I know of who says, you have to do Chan, and this is how we train our people. And this is what we're picking up from him. This is a standard he set for us. He keeps on talking about 口头禅. The disciples translated as mouth chan. Can you imagine? Mouth chan? What is mouth chan? What do you think? Is he doing mouth chan? Down there, is he doing mouth chan? Okay, so what's mouth chan? What is it? Master Srinath loves to say this, and I don't think the disciples really know what to do with that expression, and it really bothered me, as a Western educated person. Someone tells me mouth chan. What is mouth chan? Or verbal chan? 口头禅. What is it? Anyone knows? This is a sickness today. Yes. 6.
Master, is it, you know how we have shakers? Is it the screamers?
The screamers. No. See, even the Taiwanese don't get it. What do you expect, huh? Anyone, what is 口头禅? Chinese people, Chinese-speaking people, what happened to Hefang, Cheng Chen? Are you looking it up? Huh? What is 口头禅? Master YongHua, he puts things so beautifully. And it's a shame they didn't translate it properly. What's Kou Tou Chan? You have to learn Chinese a little bit to really appreciate what he's talking about. And because his disciples, none of them understand Chan, that's why they couldn't translate the expression. Because I didn't know either until I started teaching you and meeting the Taiwanese and the Vietnamese and the Chinese, and the pale face and so forth. And I said, oh, that's what he's talking about. Finally, yes, Wei Mountain.
Master, 口头禅 means it's like slogan. You're doing meditation by talking.
Doing meditation by talking.
You don't have to do anything, you just talk. Yeah. Empty talk.
Close. It's close. 口头 is that is you practice at your mouth. It's so beautiful. The Chinese expression, am I correct? Hey, you Chinese people, correct me. 口头禅, 口头 is at the mouth. The Chan at the mouth. What is a Chan at the mouth? All they do is talk. The teachers talk. Oh, Buddhism is so, Mahayana is so, Avatamsaka is so. Let me read Avatamsaka for you. That's 口头禅. Because the sutra is not in your mouth. Chan is not in your mouth. It's not practiced with your mouth. You don't learn Buddhism with your mouth, with your eyes reading, and the professors only talk about it. Monks only read stuff. That's 口头禅. Master YongHua said it repeatedly. Okay? That is, you practice with your mouth. You don't do anything, but you talk. And you will not impress the Westerners, you will not impress the young generation now. Hey, Chinese person, you late. Yes, Wei Mom.
I have texted you to take it down.
Thank you. What? We have to wait for you now? Okay, so anyway, so Master YongHua has made it very clear. His entire life of teaching, he saw people practicing Chan with the mouth, practicing Buddhism with the mouth. People only talk. They don't do anything. And when you are here in corporate America, in the United States, if you only do is talk, you'll be among the people who are fired and pushed out. Okay, you have to produce. Anyway, how do we get here? Okay. Anyway, so if you don't understand the Chan Dharma, and that's why you talk a lot. The people who understand Chan will put the head down and practice. Okay? All right. Any questions today? Go ahead, Wei Mount.
Been cultivating at Gold Forest right now, and he has a question. So at any
One
time,
question?
One question, and it's very long. And at any point in time, you can stop me if you want to. I have texted the question to the Korean translator and Chinese translator as well. So
Okay.
it goes like this. Hello, Master, all venerables and our cultivators. My name is Lang Din Lang. I have been participated in your 3 weeks Chan meditation retreat for several days now. I have a passion for Jing Yong novels. I'm also very much into characters that practice and cultivating a Shaolin temple. In the novels, Da Tang Shuang Long Chuan. In English, the title is Twin Brothers, and complete is The Legend of the Twin Dragons of the Great Tang Dynasty, composed by Wu Xia. There is a part that has all Chinese verse and very difficult to understand. I realized that there is a deep and profound principles behind the verse. Can Master please open and reveal it for us? So, English,
Where does the verse come from?
the verse come from the 大唐双龙传
What's that?
Đại đường song long truyện.
What is that?
It is the Jing Yong novel.
Who wrote it?
Wu Xia,
Who wrote the verse?
composed by Wu Xia. Wu Xia, sorry, it's
Who's
Chinese.
Wu Xia? Does he have any wisdom?
I don't know.
What's his level? You want me to spend time commenting on someone who has no wisdom? I will comment on patriarchs. I will comment on bodhisattvas. I will not comment on people who have not demonstrated that they have wisdom. Yeah, your interpretation is very personal. We don't approach worldly things. Okay, I'm sorry, we don't do that. We don't comment on worldly things. It's for the critics and for the scholars. I'm not very smart. I'm not very well read, so I don't comment on worldly things. I have zero interest in worldly things. Okay? I'm sorry, you have to ask someone else who is better educated, who has better wisdom than I do. Okay, next. Anyone else? This talk is designed to give you wisdom and tips on how to practice. It sounds like we're talking about worldly things, but we're not. I'm interpreting worldly things for you because it's beneficial in your practice, in your spiritual pursuit. But if it's only for worldly things, I have no interest. I'm sorry. I don't have time for that. Okay, let's play the tape here. What? It's filling up? There's more. Oh my God. Welcome everyone. Hey, look at that. See, he's welcoming you. Dang is welcoming you. Look at that. What a beautiful side. Look at that. Hey. Impressive, huh? Oh, Vicky is here too, from Oakland. Wow. Okay. What? Sorry. Okay, play the tape, please.
线路也做了3年，他最勤力、最殷勤、不懒惰啊，早晨起来呀。
He was the most diligent, the most industrious, and not lazy. He woke up early.
记住3点钟起来，他2点半就起来，啊，晚上12点钟睡觉，他要12点半，
For example, we wake up at 3. He would wake up at 2:30. We go to sleep at 12 o'clock at night. He would go at 12:30.
总而言之，早起在人先边，在人前，睡在人后，做这个沙弥不是那么容易的，所以果父想做沙弥，你想做沙弥就要先起在人前面起，睡在人后边睡，那才行。
So, if GFCMC wants to be a novice, to be a Shramanera, you need to get up before others and sleep after others. That would do.
Ah, 所以非常的勤劳，但是虽然那么勤劳，他也不怨人，也。
So, he was very diligent. Yet, although he was so diligent, he didn't blame others.
你看你们都这么懒惰，就我一个人做工，真是太不平等了，出家这个太不公平了。
Look, you are so lazy. I am the only one working. This is so unfair. Leaving the home life, this is so unfair.
没有这话说，没有这话说。他总是一天比一天勤，一天比一天勤，总也不懒惰。
He didn't say such a thing, didn't say a thing. He was more diligent day by day, more diligent day by day. He was never lazy.
并且，他也吃斋，也守戒，这个斋戒，都守着非常圆满。
He was also vegetarian and upheld precepts. His vegetarian diet and precepts were held perfectly.
在这个3年、4年、5年之后，他就对他师傅说了，过了，拜师傅拜了5年，才和师傅说第一句话。
After 3, 4, 5 years, he spoke with his master. 5 years after he bowed to his master, before he first spoke to his master.
你看，不是像你们这些，今天也来一个 question， 明天也来一个问题，来 problem， 这个总有问题来问，这个仇杀。
Look, he wasn't like you, asking a question today and another question tomorrow. You always have questions to ask.
沙弥不敢去和师父讲话，所以和师父他也吃斋，也守戒，这个斋戒， 这都守着非常圆满。在这个师傅来个 public 这个总有问题来了，这个丑沙弥不敢去和师傅讲话，所以和师傅讲第一句话讲的什么呢？
This ugly novice dared not talk to his master. His first words to his master, what was it?
"他师傅听他想要看经也没有和他讲话，就怎么样
Master, what sutra shall I read? His master heard he wanted to read a sutra, but did not speak to him. What did he do?
就拿一部这个叫变易经，变就是这个辩才无碍的辩，易就是意念的意，变易经。这一部经呢有5000句这么多，有5000句，5000句话这么多。
His master gave him the Pratibhana Mati Paripraka Sutra. The Pratibhana Mati Paripraka Sutra has 5,000 sentences.
他呀，把这部经带到身上，恭恭敬敬地带到前边这个这个地方，到田里就做工，做工他。
He brought this sutra with him. He respectfully placed the sutra in front of him and brought it to the field to work.
是这样，因为人做苦工呢，就做2个钟头，要休息半个钟头，或者休息半个钟头再开始做，是这样。
He worked like this because he labored for 2 hours and rested for half an hour. He rested for half an hour before starting again.
他带着这一部变易经到这个田里去，一边做工休息的时候，他来看。
He brought this Pratibhana Mati Paripraka Sutra with him to the field. He would work and read the sutra during his break.
等晚间呢，就把这部经给他师傅，还给他师傅。还给他师傅，他师傅说：“昨天我又和他师傅要第2部。”
At night, he returned the sutra to his master and asked for a second one.
他这个师傅说：“我今天给你这一部经你还没看完呢，你怎么可以看第2部呢？”
His master said, "You haven't finished the sutra I gave you today. How could you ask for a second one?"
他就说：“他说我已经背出来了。”他师傅心里头。
So he replied, "I can recite it already." His master thought to himself,
你这一天就把这一部经都可以背得出来，你简直是大王理。不过，也不愿意理这个徒弟，也不同他讲那么多了，于是乎就给他又找了一部。
"How ridiculous! You can recite this sutra in a day? You are just lying."
Yeah, sorry. So can I talk? Yeah, Peter, can you go on, read 126?
However, he would rather not talk to his disciple, didn't want to talk to him. So he found another sutra for him. What was it?
找一部什么经呢？叫这个程序光明经。程序光明经，具具足那个具，成就的成。这个程序光明经有1万句子，有1万人。
The Brahmayala Sutra. The Brahmayala Sutra has 10,000 sentences. 10,000 sentences.
在这边来着。有1万元那么多，就给他了。
Come sit here. Come, sit here. It has 10,000 sentences. He just gave it to him.
给他，他要到田里去做工，也是在休息的时候就念经。到晚年又把这部经呢给他师傅了，给他师傅。
He went to the field to work again. Again, he read the sutra during break times. At night, he returned the sutra to his master again.
师傅说：“你要看完了吗？”师傅，我看完了，我可以背得出，我不要这个本子，我可以背得出。
His master said, "Did you finish reading it again?" Master, I finished reading it. I can recite it. I can recite it without the book.
这师傅说：“真的？啊？我不相信。来，我考验考验你，你把本子给我。”
His master said, "Really? I can't believe it. I will test you. Give me the book."
Looks like that's the end of the slide. There's no more slides. That's the end of this. Switch to the next one.
I see slide 133,
Oh, it's not
Venerable.
moving anymore.
There's more.
Oh, okay. Sorry, technical difficulties.
哎，跟师傅这么拿着本子，不叫他看着字，怎么样子？自己把这个字演起来，自己偷着看。说你背了。
The master held the book without letting him peek. He covered the words and peeked at them himself.
啊，他就从头一开始背到终了，一个字也不错。
He said, "You recite." And he recited from beginning to end without faulting even one word.
这回他这个师傅可就太奇怪了，哇，这个丑徒弟这么样子聪明啊，这么样子不得了。
This time, his master was very intrigued. Wow, this ugly disciple is so smart, so impressive.
于是乎就才知道这个丑陋的徒弟这样聪明。于是乎就叫他读书了，不叫他做苦工了，叫他看。
Thus, he realized this ugly disciple was this smart. So he asked him to study and not to do hard labor.
All right, we stop here. Let's backtrack. Where was what was the slide number? 107.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. 107. So he, even as a novice at a young age, he's very diligent, very thorough, 周到. Inqi is actually 周到, and not lazy at all. Very unusual for a young boy. He left the home life. He became a novice at the age of 12, and he was a scarecrow. This is what they used to do. The young novices at Chinese temples, when they're younger, they basically help out with the cultivation of work in the field by chasing away the crows. And then when he was strong enough, then he was able to do labor work. But for him, even at the young age, he's already very vigorous, diligent, vigorous, thorough, meaning that he does quality work. Standards are very high, thorough, and not lazy at all. He woke up early. This is a tradition of the Chinese temples. For example, you expected to go to sleep after others, especially your shifu or the people you serve. You expected to sleep, go to sleep after they have gone to sleep and get up before they get up. Okay, so that's what he was doing. So he was meeting the standards of the Chinese expectation, the Chinese training. Okay, and that's what Master Xue says. You want GoHu. If you want to become an overseer in a Chinese temple, that's what you should keep in mind. Okay, you have to get up. Probably means that GoHu sleeps a lot. So that's why he says, don't think it's easy. When you become a novice, you have to sleep a lot less. So it's a warning to GoHu. But that's typical, especially if you were to serve, not only a novice, but you were to serve, you're an attendant to the great monks, the eminent monks, because that's the system. When you have like an abbot or a big shot in a temple, they have attendants where usually it's a novice who would cook for them, who would take care, run errands for them, take care of menial things for them. And they're expected to follow a very rough schedule. Rest after the master goes to rest, and get up before the master gets up, and be attentive to him all day. So that's a system in the temple. Very, very tough. Okay? Am I correct? Korean temples, do you have that too? No? I'm curious. Sunims, Korean Sunims, is that the case too? Is the norm of the standards for Korean trainees? Korean lay people, what do you know? Hmm? Seven. Do we test those microphones before we hand them out? Before we start?
됩니다. 예. 네, 저기 통도사의 새벽 예보를 참석하면 3시 반쯤 법당에 들어가는데 들어가면은 요즘은 사미들이 많이 없어서 한 뭐 100명씩 하다가 요즘 한 5명 정도 나와가지고 108배를 쫙 하고 있습니다. 그 108배를 하고 다음에 이제 천수경하고 아침 예불을 보고는 공양간으로 가서 일을 하는 거 봤습니다. 스님 다시요.
I used to attend the ceremony, the morning ceremony at Tongdosa. I went there around 3:30 in the morning. Then in the Buddha hall, there was a shami, and then before there were 100, but right these days only 5 shami is there, and they do 108 times bow. And they recite sutra, and they do ceremony, and they go to the kitchen after the ceremony.
Very good. Yes, JMT. Thank you for your input. JMT.
네, 지금 말씀하시는 내용이 삼위유리나 삼인이유리에 나옵니다. 그거는 행자 때부터 배우게 되는데 거기에 이제 삼인이들이 해야 하는 규칙들이 많이 나와 있습니다.
We learn these things from the postulant. We learn the rule and regulation of Shami and Shamini. So we learn these things from the postulant.
So that's what was taught to you as part of your curriculum, is what she's saying?
네, 행자 교육 때 배우게 됩니다.
Very good. Oh, I really appreciate this. It's very good. No need to translate. So it's excellent. So this is what's good about Korean Buddhism, very traditional. This is what they're preserving, all this. This is very good training, excellent training. As you see, what they primarily are doing for this process here is teach you about vigor. It's very vigorous. And so it's a very tough thing. You're expected to put in long hours and work your butt off, and that's the norm. And not only that, so when people do that, this boy is very special. This black-faced boy is very special. Even though he worked hard, of course, when you're in this environment, some will slack off naturally. Okay, the weak ones will slack off, and usually because of that, most people would have to deal with that. Part of the training is to resist the temptation of whining and blaming. Why is it so unfair? Okay, this is what worldly people do. This is so beautiful. Because when you work so hard and you follow the rules, and your peers are bound to slack off, and usually you feel it's unfair, and you complain. And you say, how come I work so hard and he doesn't? And then he gets to, to take it easy, work in the office and take it easy while I labor away at the fields and so forth. And so this is very typical of the training of novices. They're learning about vigor and as well as about not complaining. I never was taught that properly, so I complained constantly. Not only was I not vigorous, I was complaining all the time. This is so stupid. You don't do it that way. Come on, man. Where did you learn how to do things? In China? Anyway, and so it's fantastic. I'm glad that even Itche here says he went to Tungdosa. Tungdosa is one of the Korean temples I like. I visited there. I like it a lot. And if you out there, monks and nuns, wish to learn about Buddhism, I recommend you go to Korea. They have very good traditional ways of training. So go to Tungdosa is a good temple. We go there. If you can hang in there, you can learn a lot. I used to remember when I was at the city of 10,000 Buddhas, a lot of people came to learn from Master YongHua and hang around for 2-3 months. I think of one case where a Vietnamese temple here in San Jose, the biggest one here, that's not named names, and they would send the nuns over there and stay there for 2-3 months. And the founder of the temple is pretty smart. She's an old lady, uneducated, untrained. She has no real skills. Her contribution to build the temple, got a piece of land, eventually got enough support to build the temple. And then she got a lot of disciples because, believe it or not, the Vietnamese love to live the home life. To do what? I don't know. But they have a lot, and then so what she did smart is she sent her disciples to various great teachers. Thích Nhất Hạnh, Dalai Lama, I don't know if Dalai Lama took them or something, but Master YongHua. So I was there, and I was told that a couple of nuns there were there for about 2-3 months. And they followed the schedule, and they followed the daily schedule, getting up at 4 in the morning, and so forth, going through the full schedule all day. And they brought it back to the temples. And later, after I became fully ordained, I visited the temple, and they were doing this in the same kind of schedule, except they got up at 5 instead of 4. They would do Great Compassion Repentance in Vietnamese after lunch and so forth. So they copy like what they call like 5 or 6 hours worth of cultivation. Okay, for the Vietnamese, that's a lot. Okay, so she's very, very smart. The founder is very smart. She's dead already. And that's why she did a lot of good stuff. That's why she has shariras there, relics there. If you guys are curious, go take a look. I think she has a heart, right? Hey, the old abbot, you remember? Dam Lu. Yeah, she has relics there. You should go. Are they open today? No, it's too late now. But you should go there. He used to know the big shot, but now they don't like you anymore or something. Now you're a traitor. He used to engineer one of the buildings for help out the construction and so forth. Anyway, so she, because of her meritorious deeds, even though she had no kung fu, she had no formal training, really not a well-read person, never learned much about sutras, but she built a temple, and by the time she died, they cremated her, and she had some relics. See, you all have a chance to have relics to yourself. But anyway, so they copied everything, and they altered to suit the Vietnamese needs and stuff. But 5-6 hours, we don't call it diligent. Okay, for the Master YongHua is like from 4 until 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock. Usually, we don't go to bed until, we don't sleep until 10:30, 11:30 normally. It's very, very rigorous program. Okay, and the one thing here that I was there at Master Sharon's temple for about 4 years, over 4 years, and I was blaming everyone, was complaining, whining the whole time. I said, this is so unfair, this is so stupid, this is so unfair, this is so stupid. Because no one ever taught me, hey, shut up, endure. Huh? What's going on? Excuse us, this is we're not scheduled to broadcast from here. Okay, so anyway, losers whine, okay, and complain. So the Master Tao An never complained, didn't say anything, endured it. Okay, that's a key word. He was more diligent day by day, never lazy. Okay, impressive. So you see, when you meet certain people, they stand out because they do things differently than us. Okay, so that's how we pick out. This is how in the temples we pick out people, and as you see later, that the Master spotted him and said, "Okay, I will start giving you, putting you on a different program. I will invest in you. You've proven yourself." That you have potential. He's vegetarian, upheld precepts, okay? You left home people, you want to become enlightened, okay? Be vegetarian, uphold precepts. And the more perfectly you uphold them, the quicker you progress. After 3 or 4 years, so by the time he's around 17 or so, he had the chance to talk to his master for the first time. And what was the first question he asked his master? He said, this is tradition. This is kind of premature for him as well. After you become fully ordained in the Chinese tradition, from what I know, you spend 5 years studying sutras. And you're not allowed to meditate. First 5 years, you don't learn meditation. You learn sutras, you learn precepts, and so forth. And this boy here, because he observed precepts so well that he says, what I need next is that I like to learn about sutras at a very tender age of 17, 16. It's pretty impressive. You see, he does things that are very extraordinary. And so he came and asked his master. He didn't dare ask his master, okay, for all these years. Never whine, never complain about being treated unfairly, about working hard. And his master ignored him, never said anything, okay. So you endure it. You earn your place. You earn your time with the master. So he asked his master, what sutra should I read? So the master gave him a sutra, and he brought it to the field, and during the break, he would read it. The first sutra is about 5,000 verses. And then he turned on the same day to the master and asked for another one, telling the master that he read it already. And then the master said, didn't believe him, of course. He said, how can a black-faced novice be able to read the sutra? But the master didn't say anything, gave him another one, about 10,000 verses. And he returned the same day and gave it back to him and said, I finished this as well. And the master tested him and found that he actually could recite the 10,000 verse sutra after reading it for one day. So at the field, it's 10 hours of work, And he worked 2 hours, and when the Chinese, I'm sure, is 10 hours. He worked 2 hours, and then he had a break for an hour or something, right? Half an hour. So you see, he have, you look at do the simple arithmetic. You have 5 breaks, okay, of half an hour. So it's less than 2 hours, he could memorize 10,000 verses. Meaning that he goes through them and he remembers them immediately. That's pretty impressive. Huh? Photographic memory. Impressive. You see, all those are the signs that the signs that this is not an ordinary person. And the master tested him, and he didn't even make a single mistake reciting the 10,000 verses or whatever the master asked him. And so the master said, wow, this guy is impressive, very smart, but also very ugly. How unusual. Usually, the funny thing about monks is that the masters prefer handsome monks for some reason. Yes? When you're handsome, the master adores you. He says, oh, you'll be a great looking Dharma master. But ugly boy says, go work in the field. So he allowed him to study and not do hard labor anymore. So the point here is that he earned his spot. And he endured all this. This is a beautiful part about the traditional training system in Buddhism, which we don't do anymore, because if people are too weak nowadays, they would run away. And you with all this harsh treatment and hard labor and the ignoring and all the jealousy and rivalry among themselves, he survived. So you see, it's a very beautiful way of screening out the talent. They stand out very quickly, very, very, very fast. So the master spotted him, but I'm pretty sure people reported to him. But part of this boy's training is the harder and the longer he has to endure the hardship, okay, the more solid his foundation. It could be because of the master's, by design of the master, it could be the boy's blessing, where he's inspired his master. The condition of his master were probably not very bright, not very good for master. That's why he put him through that 3 to 5 years worth of hardship and being ignored. And it helps that he's ugly and black-faced, because you get what you deserve. Whereas if you were handsome and polished, then you get special treatment. Therefore, you're weak. You can't handle the stress. You can't handle the hardship. Okay, and so what is the point here? The point here is this is Chan training. He's telling us a story here to tell you this is the core of the Chan training. What is that? Anyone knows? What is this secret, the Chinese secret sauce that's lost now? Yes, Professor Clymer. 4.
Thank you, Master. It's to endure.
Endure, okay. Anyone else? What is the secret here? Do you want to say something? I want to point this out to you because it's very important. You know, if you lose this, you can no longer train people. Yes, 4.
Create blessings.
Create blessings, okay. This is why, even though the Vietnamese, the Koreans, came to Master Shenhua's temples and stayed there for 2 months, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, they still don't get it. I was there for 4 years, I didn't get it either. Yes, 2.
A Di Đà Phật. Tức là cái người cấp dưới đó phải là tuân lệnh tuyệt đối, cái trên biểu cái gì làm cái đó.
Okay, do what you're told. Okay. Yes. 6.
그만두지 않는 것.
Not giving up.
Not giving up. Very good. Anyone else? 4. Hey, 4.
Yeah, thank you,
How
Master.
appropriate.
Is that don't quit?
Don't quit. Okay, you're stealing from me. Yes, 5.
Yeah, phải quên thân, phải xả thân.
Okay, 6.
네, 불합리하더라도 거기에 대해서 분별하지 않는 것.
Don't translate. Let me guess. Honey, I'm coming home soon. I miss you. That's Chan too. Yeah. Yes, translation, just in case.
Even if it's unreasonable, don't discriminate.
Don't discriminate. Anyone else? You see? This is very, very important. JC.
네, 그것은 일심입니다.
One mind.
One mind. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Very simple. He diligently worked. Whatever he's told to do, he's very diligent at it. That's a secret in Chinese training. Don't ask why. Like Master Shen said, you Americans here, people here are always asking why. Okay? Well, this doesn't make sense. And you complain, you whine, and you ask, and you complain. Actually, the training is that shut up, work diligently until you've proven yourself. Yes? If they do that, then we spot them. If they don't do that, next. Those are the ones you pull up. Agree? That's how we spot talents. Because even if they're smart, even if they're productive, but they're not diligent, they're not willing to endure, they don't last. So we will not invest. Okay? So it's the same thing in companies, same thing in temples. This guy was very diligent for years. And then, this is how tough it is. And then, that's when he got pulled up and said, okay, you've proven yourself. Now, we invest in you. It's very tough back then because there's a lot of people who became novices because frankly, they couldn't afford the food, or life is very tough. They're poor and so forth. So you have a lot of these people, and they came in. So this is and lots of them. So that's why this is a screening process. And they don't explain to you. This is why the Chinese don't explain it to you. It's a test of diligence. If you're able to diligently execute, they will train you, they invest in you. But nowadays we're weak. We can't be diligent. We whine, we complain. It has to make sense to us. So it's a different world, okay? It doesn't work anymore. Now people like you run away, you softies. Oh, Master is so hard. The other temple I have my own room. Deji Sunim, right? She has her own room, has her own bathroom. Here is like the second floor, JC is like we all 100 people sharing one bathroom. See? So the people like Teji Sunim, like the Korean Sunims who survived are the one. The Koreans are very tough. They're expected to be very diligent, like Yipche says, Tung Dosa. Okay, and most of them who left Tung Dosa because they're not diligent enough. That's how tough it is. You may be diligent, but you're still not good enough. Okay, that's a secret. If you're diligent and there's more to the to the recipe, then you make it. What is the rest? I'm not telling you. Seriously? Must I tell you everything? Okay? Got that? This is beautiful. This is so Mahayana. This is why when you go through this grinding process, like a chanchi here is a grinding process. You have the chance to blossom overnight. Questions or comments? It's fascinating. It's too bad that people don't appreciate what Master YongHua is bringing to our country. This is very profound, very very effective training methodology. And unless when it's time is for your turn to train people, it will be clearer to you. Okay. Unless you understand this process, you cannot train the next generation. Especially here in the U.S., it's very, very difficult. You ask for too much from them, they will run away. And so that's why we alter it. Is there a party tonight after? I saw a big pizza. So in America, we can't handle it. So the mode here is work hard, play hard. Work hard, play hard. If you work too hard, they run away. Chen is thinking of leaving already. Every time she comes here, okay, I work a little bit harder this time. But then this is too hard, I'm out of here. And next time she's a little bit harder. You see, that's what it takes. That's why you need to adapt. If you do it like the Chinese way, then we won't be able to train the next generation. The next generation is weak. So you need to adapt to their weaknesses and give them more time. You work around it, okay? But you need to first understand why this process. This is beautiful. This is ingenious. Only the Buddhas and the patriarchs understand this process. Okay, it's fascinating to me. Okay, be grateful. I mean, appreciate the fact he tells us these stories. You got to listen to it, and I hope someday when it's your turn to train people, you say, "Wow, oh, that's why." Okay? Yeah. And then why don't we tell you? Because we tell you, it's not going to work. Why? Because we need to train you to get around your ego. If we tell you, you think you know, I will still go around your ego. That's why I don't tell you. Okay? Ego says, I don't know. I'm worried. I'm so worried. I'm going to go crazy. So what do? Nothing. You give them one reason, they go, what about? What about? And then they ask more and ask more and ask more. That's why you don't say anything. Let them endure, suffer. Huh? That's a training. Okay. It's beautiful, let me tell you. I really love this story. This face of black-faced Chinese guy. Okay, questions? It's fantastic. You don't know what Master Chuan gave us. It's just so beautiful. Yeah. I'm enjoying this more than nowadays. Yeah. Yeah. Where are we? Okay, continue, please. 1:30 something.
Peter, starting on 137.
Thank you. Are you asking me to read, Venerable?
Yes, please.
Okay. He told him to read sutras and study the Buddha Dharma. Dharma Master Daoan got this great opportunity to study the sutras. So, he penetrated the Mahayana, the Hinayana Sutras, the Tripitakas of Sutra, Vinaya, and Sastra. He penetrated the Sutra Pitaka, having wisdom like the sea and eloquence without obstruction. He propagated the Buddha Dharma everywhere, teaching and transforming living beings. At a young age, he studied Buddha Dharma. At the age of 20, he taught sutra and spoke Dharma.
讲经说法以后，他就去亲近这个佛图城。
After he taught sutras and spoke Dharma, he drew near to Fo Tu Dong.
这个佛图城呢，是个正果的圣人，当时正果罗汉果有很大的神通。
Fo Tu Dong was a sage who attained fruition. He attained the fruition of Arhat and had great spiritual penetration.
那你一见着他，就特别高兴哦，说你可来了，我等你很久了，那你才来。
Once Fo Tu Dong saw him, he was overjoyed. He said, "You came! I waited for you for so long. You have finally arrived."
那么有这一句话，我等你很久了，那么就证明呢，这个道安法师不是一个普通人。
The sentence, "I waited for you for so long," proves that Dharma Master Daoan was not an ordinary person.
他和这个佛图澄两个人谈话谈得津津有味，从早晨谈到晚间，也没有断。 也没有吃饭，也没有喝水，什么都没有。这当时
He and Fo Tu Dong spoke non-stop with great interest from morning to evening, without eating or drinking, nothing.
这佛图澄这个徒弟就都生了嫉妒心。 就对他说：“这么一个丑陋的和尚，你同他讲什么呢？”
At that time, Fo Tu Dong's disciples all became jealous. They told their master, "This is just an ugly monk. What are you talking with him about?" 这一个丑陋的和尚，你们可是不行了，你们比不了他，他不是一个普通人呐。 Fo Tu Dong replied, "This ugly monk? You are not even close to him. You don't measure up to him. He is not an ordinary person."
但是虽然这样讲了，这佛图澄也有几百个这个比丘尼在这亲近他。
Although he said so, but Fo Tu Dong had several hundred bhikshu and bhikshuni following him over there.
所以都因为看佛图澄对他这么好，大家都有一种不满意的妒忌心、生妒忌心。
Because they saw Master Fo Tu Dong was so nice to him, everyone had jealousy with dissatisfaction. They brought forth their jealous mind.
所以，修行为什么不正果、不开悟呢？
So why do we cultivate but cannot attain fruition? Why can we not become enlightened?
就因为有妒忌心。要没有妒忌心呢，就离开悟正果差不远。
That is because of our jealous mind. If we don't have a jealous mind, then we are not far away from becoming enlightened and attaining fruition.
那么有的时候，佛图澄讲经说法，就叫这个道安法师来给辅小座。
Sometimes, when Photudong was lecturing sutras and teaching Dharma, he would ask Dharma Master Daoan to repeat the lecture.
什么叫辅小座呢？就是叫他们这个督等位置啊。
What is meant by repeating the lecture? That was to ask him to do the lecture.
这督等位置，这个道安法师这辩才无碍，这些个人都不佩服他，但是还没有法子他啊。
Dharma Master Daoan had unobstructed eloquence. Those people did not admire him, but couldn't do anything about it.
为什么不佩服他？新来的讲的这么好。
Why don't they admire him? A newcomer speaks this well? Hung.
以前跟着佛图澄10几年的那些个学生，都没有他这么好的辩才，但是都要和他辩。
The students who had followed Photudong for over a decade did not have his level of eloquence, but would debate with him.
辩不过他，也要强辩。
They couldn't win the debate, but would keep defending themselves.
常常呢是这样来这个辩论，回答辩论，但是一辩论就输给道安法师，一辩论就输给道安法师。
They often debated like this, debated for the Dharma. But once they debated, they would lose to Dharma Master Daoan. Once they debated, they would lose to Dharma Master Daoan.
所以这叫西道人经四邻。
So it was called Paint Cultivator of the Way, surprises the neighborhood. 西道人就是一个黑和尚，黑色的修道的人。 Paint cultivator of the way means a black monk, a black cultivator of the way.
经四邻就是这个四邻呢就是四座的邻就是那个邻居的邻利不喝佛利不喝
surprises the neighborhood. Neighborhood is surrounded by neighbors, making the neighbors all surprised.
Okay, stop. 137. That's continuing, so he's able to read sutras and do studies. So that's what happens at the temple. At that particular temple, they study. They don't really have the kind of formal Chan training we do nowadays. So you see the times are different, the people are different, and he's able, with his photographic memory, he absorbed a lot of scriptures, so he absorbed Mahayana sutras, he absorbed Hinayana sutras, and he read up on the Vinaya and the Shastras and so forth. So as you can imagine, he's able to be exposed to the Tripitakas, the whole curriculum of Buddhist teachings. Very impressive. And he penetrated the Sutra Pitaka, so he understood the sutras, have wisdom like the sea. What does it mean, have wisdom like the sea? See, he never received formal training in Chan, but he has wisdom. And so, yes, Wei Mao.
Thank you, Master. From my perspective, to have wisdom like the sea means your wisdom is boundless.
That's correct. Anyone else? Wisdom like the sea here refers to the fact that it's the knowledge, his insights is very profound. Not just that, it also implies it's predicated upon him having samadhi power. So that's why I look and try to find where he learned to develop his samadhi. If it were to work in the field, that's not enough. If it were to study sutras, maybe. So it's amazing that he's able to have wisdom like the sea, which is a proof that he has samadhi power. Because what happens is that you read, like worldly people, they read texts, they synthesize texts, but they don't have what we call wisdom. Okay, wisdom refers to depth. Okay, depth requires you are able to penetrate the meaning, and that's why scholars, they understand superficially, think superficially, but they cannot penetrate to the depth of the teaching. Okay, and this is a big problem in Buddhism. Nowadays, people only go for the text and the words. Very much like Master YongHua said earlier, I mentioned Kou Tou Chan. Everything is about words only. They don't have depth anymore. The teachers only talks. He doesn't help you develop depth. And that's the death of Buddhism. Buddhism will die. Master YongHua's Dharma is dying slowly because no one understands it anymore. Something profound like this, unless you have samadhi power, you will not be able to penetrate it. Okay? So wisdom, like you see here, refers to the depth of the knowledge. Not only just the sea itself, but the ocean is very deep. We cannot measure how deep it is. All right? Mankind, even with all the technology, we still struggle with what's the latest news? Titanic submarine getting lost, and they can't find it. Just a submarine. They can't even find. They cannot deal with Titanic. That ocean right there. You see, that's so typical of mankind's knowledge. It's so limited. It lacks depth. That's why when you go to the depth, you die. You can't handle it. Okay? Yeah. And so this is intriguing to me because how he developed wisdom like the sea is too bad. Master YongHua, I would have asked him, I would ask Shifu, how did he have wisdom like the sea? I would have asked him. I'd love to ask him that if I could. Eloquence without instruction is easy because if you have wisdom, then eloquence is rather easy to develop. Okay? And what did he do with his knowledge? He propagated, he explained Dharma, he propagated the Buddha Dharma, teaching and transforming living beings. I don't know when Master Shua talked about transforming living beings, teaching, I can see him repeating sutras, explaining sutras, but transforming, I don't know where the black-faced boy or black-faced monk learned it from. At a young age, he studied the Buddha Dharma. At 20, he taught the sutra and spoke Dharma, very much like Master YongHua. Master YongHua started very early. He started explaining sutras to when he was like a teenager to the monks in his village. Okay, and so here for this Master Dao An, by the age of 20, meaning about 3 years later, after he started studying the Tripitaka and at his kind of photographic memory, he must have got a lot of exposure, and then not clear, how he developed the depth. It's not clear to me. I'd love to ask Master YongHua, ask someone about this. I don't know. I don't understand. Why do I need? I want to know. I'm curious to know because if I could understand the process behind Master Dao An, then I would also encourage you to study Buddha Dharma like him. But because it's not clear to me that how he developed his wisdom, his depth, studying the Buddha Dharma alone, studying texts alone, to me so far, doesn't work for most people. Especially the people who got certificates of completion or diplomas and so forth from institutions. They don't have wisdom like the sea. Okay? So this is what's lacking here. Too bad. No one asked him. No one knew that they should ask him. So he taught sutras, he explained sutras, and spoke the Dharma for people. And you can imagine at the age of 20, how much Dharma can he speak? He's basically lived his entire life in a temple, and therefore, how can he really speak Dharma? So basically, he's probably talking about theoretical stuff. And this is why for me personally, I prefer monks and nuns who have lived outside already. Because once you become a monk, I cannot train you about the worldly perspectives anymore. So the monks and nuns who don't know how difficult it is for you to make a living, to struggle, to be stressed out by life and so forth, if they're sheltered like Master Dao An, they probably cannot really help. You speak Dharma in order to help people, not to increase their knowledge. There's a difference. So the Chinese seems to be very enamored with increasing knowledge, but Dharma here, to me, is how to help you solve your problems. And unless you're familiar with life, secular life, how are you going to help people solve problems? So this is a drawback of Master Dao An, but then in the Chinese system, they don't have such requirements. They're revered, they came to study wisdom as per their tradition. But here, in the Dharma ending age in our times, it's not very useful to me personally. So he taught sutra, spoke the Dharma, and drew near Phổ Tu. How do you say? Teng, or what? I could not hear. Master YongHua has a weird pronunciation. Yes? 4.
Thank you, Master. Master YongHua pronounced as Chen, but I verified the online source, and they said the pronunciation is done.
Done. Okay. Yeah, Master Yuan pronounces like Teng or something. Okay. Chen. Okay. Chen, that guy? The girl? That's the same spelling? Chen. Wow, small world. You have potential to have real wisdom and reach fourth stage arhats. Huh? How's that? Too white? Yeah. So Phổ Thủ Tông was a sage who has attained fruition, and this is something that disappointing to me. That Master YongHua keeps on telling us like this is a sage of fourth stage arhats, and it sounds like a fourth stage arhat is like like so big, so wise, so. And have you found out, look at yourself, how unimpressive you are. I look at, seriously? We're supposed to be impressed with you? Anyway, so you see how sad it is back then in China. And they got a fourth stage arhat, and Master YongHua is jumping up and down. Oh, he's a sage. He attained fruition. He has so much wisdom. And you can see, not only has the fruition of arhat, meaning a fourth stage arhat, it has great spiritual penetration. Yeah, right. And so when Phổ Thủ Tông saw Master Tao An, he was so happy, jumping up and down. And he says, I came, I've been waiting for you. You finally, you're here. And so Master YongHua says, you see, based on this, you can tell that Master Tao An is no ordinary person, as certified by a fourth stage arhat. I said, yeah, right. It's funny because there was a fourth stage arhat Thai monk who tried to teach the old abbot here. And I tried to help the old abbot here, try to teach him a Dharma. I said, seriously, you can't even tell? and he's supposed to recognize talent here? Anyway. And so Phổ Thủ Tông, he talked nonstop. Seems like they've been together before. So I doubt that Phổ Thủ Tông is actually a fourth stage arhat. But anyway, whatever Master YongHua says, it's got to be a little bit higher than that. And they talk nonstop, morning to evening. Forget about drinking and so forth. Because when they talk, they don't need to eat or drink. No tea, no need to serve Korean tea. The Koreans, when they talk, they drink a lot of tea. And the drawback is that after an hour or so, you have to stand up and go to the toilet. See, this is the advantage of not drinking and eating. The Koreans don't find it funny. I usually sit with Xian An when I go to Korea all day, and then one person after another, and say, okay, can I talk to you, Master? Okay, yeah, okay, talk. And the next person. And after about 3 or 4 hours or so, Xian An looked at me, I'll be right back. I've been drinking tea with everyone. Anyway, we should try to copy them, the Chinese, and just talk and no more tea. How's that? And his Phổ Thủ Tông disciples all became jealous, and this is typical of a big place, especially monks and nuns. They're very jealous, unfortunately. Okay, they green with envy. It's a very tough environment because they watch you all day, and if you do something different, oh, he's giving special treatment to someone. That's why most monks and nuns, if they're smart, they don't have disciples, left home people disciples at all. They watch you day and night. It's very unpleasant. Okay, so you see, he has Pho Tu Teng has like several hundred. This is very impressive. Several hundred bhikshus and bhikshunis. Now, let's think about it. A fourth-stage arhat handling several hundred bhikshus and bhikshunis, that's very impressive. That reminds me of Shariputra and Moggallana. Yeah, the Buddha's disciple always had like 1,255 disciples following him. And there are fourth-stage arhats, most of them are fourth-stage arhats already. And so to handle the kind of volume, the kind of head counts here is very impressive. Pho Tu Teng is certainly, I don't think he's a fourth-stage arhat. It's got to be higher than that. Okay. So anyway, so of course we have several hundred people. You know, you're bound to deal with a lot of jealousy issues. Okay, and people watching each other constantly. And you're the master. You have several hundred pairs of eyes watching you as well. That's why you don't want to have left home people disciples. Let me tell you. I remember I used to have an old nun there, and I allow her, in my early days, I allow her to lead a home life, and like in a tradition of Master YongHua, I don't touch them. You know, she does whatever she wants, and she quickly rose to, to 8th samadhi. This is not bad for a illiterate and stupid old woman, okay? And so she's untouched. Unlike Teji Sunim or you, at least I try to tell you something. I leave her alone, okay? Don't tell her how to meditate. I don't tell her what to do. And finally, she made a mistake, so I threw her out. I had a reason to throw her out, but I remember how stupid she was. She's, every time I sat there eating lunch and someone walks in, and I look at that person, okay, and look at her, she's watching me. And if it happens to be, let's say, a woman, a girl, even a girl or a woman or an old woman, she would look at me first and look at the other person. Because if if I linger looking at someone too long, she would look at the other person. It's very annoying. It's insolent. How dare you? Anyway, but I wouldn't touch her. So old people, they know too much. And so that's why the smart monks and nuns, they don't have left home people disciples, because they're watched by their own disciples day and night. Very uncomfortable. And they're jealous, they fight each other, and they complain and so forth. And so they saw the disciples very jealous, and they all become very jealous of the Master Tao An. And Master YongHua made a comment: if you cultivate and cannot attain fruition, why don't you can't open your wisdom, become enlightened? Because you have a jealous mind. You know why he's saying this? Because he has many disciples too back then. In the 70s, he should have around 20, 30 people. And lots of them are jealous, of course. And that's why he said, you watch out. This is an indirect message to his disciples. Don't be jealous, because you will not open your wisdom or attain fruition. It's just an admonition to his disciples. And Pho Tu Teng was also teaching his students, his disciples, several hundred of them, monks and nuns. Impressive. That he accepted nuns too, okay, and taught the nuns. That's quite nice. And he would ask Master Tao An to be Fu Shao Zuo. What does it mean in Chinese? Fu is to repeat. Shao Zuo. So his job is to repeat the lecture. What does it mean, repeat the lecture? I'm curious. I've never been to this kind of environment before, and that's why I'm curious. Anyone knows? Do you have such a system anymore, anywhere? There's a reason for it, I believe. Anyway, if anyone knows, I would appreciate learning more. No one looking it up. Fu Shao Zuo. Anyway, was asking the lecture. Are we at the end yet? Still keep going. And so Master Tao An has eloquence, and they may be jealous of him, but they are not much they can do about it, and they disapprove of him. They are not impressed, no matter what he did. Okay, so people, this is what happened. People are the first impression they make, they have of you, will color their vision of you, their impression of you. So that's why, preferably monks and nuns, they're chosen because they are pleasant looking, so that they have a favorable predisposition towards when they speak the Dharma. Okay, but then, as Master Shua says, now you have a problem. Most of these pleasant-looking monks and nuns don't make it. Too good-looking. Okay, so why don't I admire him and say, so these followers of Fo Tu Teng, who's been studying under him for a decade, and none of them has eloquence. Are you serious? If that's the case, get the heck out of there. 10 years of life cannot be wasted. Okay? 10 years is the norm. After 10 years, you still have no eloquence, you still are jealous because you really have no attainment to the point you're still jealous. If you really have attainment, you no longer are jealous. Okay? So 10 years. Yes, ma'am. 6.
On the 副小作 part. So it's basically this tradition that, especially the one example I looked up is in the sutra discussion. So the teacher would speak the sutra, and then the students would listen to it.
Okay, wait. Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
At your level, you need to speak more clearly. You're exuding confidence, that's very good. But if you don't enunciate and you don't speak louder, it shows that you're not sure of yourself. When you speak, you have to show confidence.
Yes, Master.
Go.
So 副小作 is a student.
There's a time where you want to hold back, and I don't know. I'm humble. I really don't know anything. Okay? But there's a time when, for example, you say, I researched this. That's when you say, this based on my research, this is what I read. You see the difference in tone? Okay, you need to know when.
Okay, based on my research, 副小作 is the students transcribe what the teacher taught and then teach the same lesson again. And the students are not supposed to change anything the teacher taught. They basically repeat what was taught.
So they transcribe it?
Yes.
They record it. They didn't have a recorder back then, so they transcribe the teachers. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a great system. I see that. That's how Fa Hai was able to assemble the 6 Beichak Sutra. Thank you. That's very nice to know. Okay, so Phổ Tu Teng, his disciples followed him for a decade, and they're still jealous. Okay, and that's big trouble right there. Okay, yeah. Meaning that none of them attain anything. Meaning that Phổ Tu Teng cannot train his disciples. Okay, because if any of if the peers improve, then they get to learn to deal with their own jealousy internally already, not have to wait until a stranger comes in and then everyone is jealous of him. Okay, that doesn't make sense. So that's why this Phổ Tu Teng here is not a good teacher. So they would like to debate. They debate with the Master Tao An. Well, of course, Tao An has encyclopedic knowledge of the Buddha Dharma, and that's why they could not out debate him. And they took turn debating him, and everyone would lose to Master Tao An. And so that's why they are very surprised. And so there's a Chinese saying, surprise the neighborhood. And a black-faced person surprises all the neighbors in the 4 directions. And it's, okay. We get to 164, that's the next section, and the anima explanations. Any questions or comments? I know a lot of you took the time to come here tonight, so that's why we went a little bit longer. I'm supposed to keep it to an hour or less. We're almost 2 hours. 6 more minutes to 2 hours. Any questions or comments? Yes, 5.
Renounce or our jealousy. And
repeat.
Emitofuo Master, can you please teach us a method so that we can renounce our jealousy nature?
Okay. You have to ask someone who is no longer jealous. You see, my comments are always negative about my master's disciples. I'm jealous. Okay? No? That's what, it's clear. I said very few positive things, mostly negative things. That's jealousy. How can I tell you to get rid of jealousy when I am jealous? I'm still jealous. I remember personally, I observed my entire life. I'm not jealous of a lot of people. Not at all. whether they're handsome, they're pretty, they're rich, they're smart, so forth. I'm never jealous, except for one person. I'm serious. Who? I cannot tell you. and I thought about it. I said, why am I jealous? Have you thought about why you're jealous? And one day, I no longer was jealous of that person. I found out, it's gone. Not that I wanted, and not that I said, I'm jealous, I have jealousy, I have jealousy issues. Oh my God, what am I going to do with my life? I'm a monk, I'm still jealous. What am I supposed to do? And one day, he said, gone. That's why I can relate to you, but otherwise I have no idea what is jealousy. Okay, how you deal with your jealousy, what you're jealous about. So, the reason, for some reason I'm jealous of only one person is because I felt threatened that I could not surpass this person. Sounds familiar? Like you say, she's so pretty, I'm jealous because she's prettier than I am. Yes? Sounds familiar? Huh? Shame on you. Huh? See that? You know, like when you remember the rule of thumb is when you choose the bridesmaid, she has to be uglier than you. Right? The rule of thumb. And so same thing. You feel threatened. You feel insecure around this person. And no matter what you do, they still better than you. That's why you're jealous. Don't you think? You agree, disagree? What's the nature? What is the reason for you to be jealous? Please tell me. Mine, I know that that person is better than me, way better than me. I knew that. And that person proves it time and time again. It's what's so annoying about it. How about you? Talk about your jealousy. Are you jealous of anyone? No. See? So how can I teach you about jealousy? You have to know why you're jealous. And if it's, for example, you're jealous of someone because he's richer than you, your neighbor is richer than you, who drives a nicer car than you. How are you going to get rid of that jealousy? Yes, 5. Five. Four.
Thank you, Master. I think the one of the core reasons you're jealous is because you're weak. So you're searching for outside recognition.
Not always. You feel insecure. This person makes you feel insecure. It's not about even outside. Most of the time it's outside. But for me personally is that I feel insecure. I know I'm not better. Okay? Yes, for most people, it's like you need validation and so forth. But that's superficial. Yes, Wei Mountain.
Thank you, Master. I remember when we were looking at the four, I don't remember, but it was the kindness, compassion, joy, and renunciation. And I remember you mentioned that the way we can stop that jealousy is by being joyful for the other's success.
Yeah, rejoice in others people's success, other people's good things, other people's good fortunes, and so forth. You really believe that it works? I tried.
Yes,
I learned
Master.
about that. I recited that every day, every morning for years, and then I was still jealous at that one person in my entire life. Only one person made me jealous. That's it. And I recited that too. I said, I'm supposed to rejoice in others' merit and virtues, but deep down, I still don't feel good about it. Yes, 6.
I think you can stop the jealousy if you let go of the quality that you are jealous of, like be it money or beauty. If you let go of your attachment to that, then you will not be jealous of that person. Another way is just to be them, be better at them, surpass them.
Right. Yes, Wei Mountain.
Master, so before my manager left, she picked out a new manager, and I used to be jealous of that because I felt that I have the same qualification, and just because she's a woman. But then later on, I realized that there's a lot of aspects that she's better than me, and I need to learn from it.
Okay, so there are 2 principles here. Okay, so far, because we're running out of time, so I'm trying to shorten it for you. Number 1, if you want to reduce your jealousy, to recite the 随喜功德, to rejoice in others' merit and virtue to me, it doesn't work. I don't know about you. It's nice words, and it's like the ideal is that you're supposed to be magnanimous and generous about it. But you say, yeah, but deep inside, I still don't feel good about this. Okay? I don't know about you, but that's how I feel. At the end of the day, it's I don't know. Another day, and I'm still... Yeah, c'est la vie. And so the 2 things in Buddhism that you could fix the jealousy. Number 1, that you become better. Very simple. Be better. And then it's no longer a jealousy issue. Okay? So become a better person. Improve yourself. Stop complaining and say, how come is this so and so? And be jealous. Okay? Whatever it is, become better. Do it better. That's all. Absolutely. And number 2 is that whatever you're measuring as your measure that is a basis of your being jealous. Okay? For example, here, Phổ Tú Tân, spent time talking to Master Tao An, they became jealous. Hey, he got time with the Master, okay? Or he sits next to Master transcribing, okay? And the way to reduce jealousy is just to look at that as empty. You have wisdom. You reach 4th stage Arhat, okay? And then you're able to look at it as empty. It's meaningless. Empty means meaningless. No big deal. If he spends time with Master Phổ Tú Tân, no big deal. It's empty. If he sits next to Master Phổ Tú Tân, it's empty. It's no big deal. Then the foundation, the basis of your jealousy no longer stands. It pulverizes, it's destroyed. So destroy, in general, destroy the foundation of your jealousy. Whatever you're jealous about, if you really have wisdom, open your wisdom, okay, then you see that your jealousy is baseless. That's all. Well, there's a lot more, but time I don't have enough time. All right? Any final questions or comments? You agree or disagree? Yes, 4.
Kính thưa Thầy và tất cả quý sư cô ở đạo tràng này cùng tất cả các bạn cùng trong đạo tràng. Thì lần đầu tiên con biết được nơi đây có sự tu tập trong 3 tuần lễ, cho nên con cũng xin phép Thầy để tới tham gia. Và Thầy đã hoan hỷ cho con tới đây để tham gia trong mấy ngày vừa qua, cho nên là con rất vui để mà biết được những cái điều rất là hay, rất là mới. Và con cũng rất cảm ơn Thầy đã cho con tới đây tu học. Cảm ơn tất cả các anh chị em cùng tu học trong đạo tràng này đã hoan hỷ chia sẻ những cái điều tốt đẹp các anh chị đã học được. Cảm ơn Thầy.
Hello, Master, and all of the people and the nuns at the way place, and all of the co-cultivator in this way place. This is the first time that I know that there's a place that have cultivation for the Chanchi cultivation, and I'm allowed to participate, and Master very delightful and allow me to participate in this Chanchi. So I'm very happy, and I was able to learn from our cultivators about the good things that they have been sharing. So I really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you, Master.
Okay, you're welcome, and I thank you, all of you, for coming tonight so that he can see that there's some people actually, you for real, not just we do a deepfake on YouTube. All right, YouTube question.
From San Francisco, Daniel. Master, when I feel jealous, I don't feel insecure. I feel that things aren't fair. Like when guys are big jerks, but people like them.
Okay. Yeah, I can understand it. It's not fair. Okay. Life isn't fair. Keep cultivating, and one day you see that it's all empty anyway. It doesn't matter. So it's as you develop your wisdom, what is empty? Empty means that you remove, you have fewer attachments. The Chinese and in Buddhism, when we teach you about emptiness, is actually empty your attachments. This is where the Chinese teaching is more abstract than it should be. Okay? For example, when you learn Chan, you enter Samadhi, then you experience emptiness. Sound familiar? Okay, emptiness. So we teach you, for example, when you enter Samadhi, you experience emptiness. Actually, it also means that you emptying out some attachments before you can enter Samadhi. It's too bad the Chinese didn't really, or the Koreans didn't really, the Chinese system didn't really put it that way for you, because I want to stress that. You want to meditate, you want to enter Samadhi, and in order to enter Samadhi, okay, it doesn't matter how you do it, okay, it means you have to empty your attachments. The more attachments you empty, the higher your samadhi. It makes a difference, folks. It's not talk. You have to empty it. That's what emptiness in Buddhism means, deep down. Can you let go? That's what it means. That's all it means. It's not like, oh, it's empty like empty space, or it doesn't taste like anything, doesn't smell anything. No, that's not emptiness. Is that clear? You're so thoughtful now. You went, let me think about this. You need more time? Shall I give you 5 more minutes before I close out? We don't want to lose momentum now. New faces. Yeah. Yes, Wei Mountain. Think about it. Don't hang on to that thought. Let me talk to Wei Mountain. They say, Master is taking too long tonight. Yes, 5, Wei Mountain.
Thank you, Master. Just to share a little perspective, I think jealousy can offer tremendous teaching moments. To Trin's point, it can show you what you want that you don't have. It can make you work harder to get it. I've had to endure jealousy for long amounts of time, and it can be really humbling. But
I can't imagine that.
But just to comment on my Dharma brother, San Francisco Daniel's statement, the teaching moment might be that if guys can be jerks and then people, and by people we all know you mean girls, still like them, maybe be a little bit of a jerk sometimes, dude. It might work.
Oh, God, it's so American. God, I can't let this go without making a comment. Okay, I don't want you to leave the wrong impression. I didn't want to touch this until the pale-faced people, pushed me into a corner. Seriously? Be a jerk sometimes? Is that what you guys do?
Just a little bit, like if you're nice all the time, that's so like, oh.
Oh, God.
You have to give
sad.
people.
And you say second stage, I take it back. You don't deserve it.
I'm not saying don't be nice. There's a difference.
God, there's no class. There's a second stage, there's no class whatsoever. No, don't be a jerk. Take a loss. Take a loss. Give them all the glory and the credit. Okay? Why? There's a reason you want to do that. Maybe I shouldn't say it tonight. There's too many women here. Because guys like us, if you're a jerk and women follow you, we don't want those types of women.
That was going to be my second point, Master.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry I cut you off so soon. Are you sure, Daniel, that you want to be the kind of women who are impressed by his being a jerk?
Exactly.
You guys are too much. Okay, we stop here tonight. Thank you, everyone. Good job.